Rowan, where are my cookies? They were here a minute ago. They were a gift from Melissa.
Oh, they were a gift?
What's wrong? Why are you making that face?
Before you get mad at me, I just want you to know they were pretty gross.
How do you know? You ate them?
You should be thanking me. I did you a favor. Oh, look! Did you see that over there? Something's glowing.
You really think I'm going to fall for that? Hey, wait up!
Look, there! Fireflies!
Seriously, Rowan? Stop trying to change... Did you say fireflies? It's so pretty. Do you remember that one time Mother spotted fireflies? I was so excited I turned around too quickly and twisted my ankle.
I do remember. I wanted to carry you home, but Mother wouldn't let me. I just wanted to be a hero. But she was right. I probably would have dropped you.
I doubt you could even carry me now.
Yeah, I could. But with me protecting you, you'll never get hurt again.
I don't know about that, but you are a lot stronger than you used to be. It's hard to believe you were once a little boy aimlessly swinging a wooden sword.
Oh, a compliment. Thanks, sis. You know, you're not so bad on the battlefield yourself. You've kept me in line more than once. I don't have the head for battle plans.
Lucky you. You don't have to think about being responsible for so many lives. I'm always second-guessing myself, wondering which allies have let down.
I worry about that stuff too. I'm not completely oblivious. But you're way stronger than you think you are. And this is coming from me. You know I wouldn't say it if it wasn't true.
Of course. I'm really lucky to have you for a brother, Rowan.
Thanks. All this talk is making me hungry.
Me too. I'd offer you some cookies, but someone already ate them.
We're back to this again? I was hoping you forgot all about it.
Not a chance. I think I deserve an apology, don't you?
Sure. Let me just... Rowan! Was that Lissa? I'd better go.
That won't work this time, Rowan. Get back here!
Father?
Lucina, why do you look so serious?
I've been fighting to change my world's future for so long. I have fought my hardest each and every day, but I've never had a chance to relax.
You have overcome more hardships than most just to make it this far.
But ever since coming to this world, my life has changed so drastically. I still want to change the future, but now I want to save this kingdom as well. After meeting such wonderful allies and journeying with you, well, I must admit, I'm enjoying myself. It's been a long time since I felt this.
If you're having so much fun, why do you look so miserable?
It seems wrong to enjoy myself with this world in such dire straits. I can't let myself lose sight of how serious things are.
Well, you're right about the state of things, but you can't let that consume you. I can smile because I'm looking forward to the time we'll spend together.
You are? Father, thank you. Then I suppose it is okay to feel like I'm having fun. Once in a while.
Exactly. And how do you want to spend our time?
I'd really like to refine my sword skills with you.
Very well. But it's more like I'll be taking lessons from you.
Oh, I'm sure we'll be evenly matched, as always. You taught me all my techniques. I'm just excited we can practice together again.
Well then, we'll start tomorrow. Is there anything else you want to do together?
Perhaps we could take the occasional walk?
Of course. And what else?
Can we do our laundry together, too?
Frederick may have something to say about that, but I don't mind.
We can really do all those things? I'm so glad.
But is that really all you want to do? Not anything big or significant, I guess?
Father, these are not just trivial tasks to me. Spending a carefree day with you is exactly what I want. It's like a dream this day ever came at all. I worry I'll be cursed for being so happy.
You've worked so hard to get where you are. Why would you be cursed for this? You are no longer on your own. There is no need to carry that weight alone.
Thank you for saying that.
You can depend on me from now on. In fact, it would make me happy if you did.
Despite the chaos of our lives, you really think we can have a normal relationship?
Through thick and thin, we're father and daughter. We'll make it work.
Thank you, Father. We'll be together from now on.
And together, Lucina, we will change our fate.
Man, I'm so sore after that last battle. Think I'll call the training here.
Rowan, here you are. Training your sword skills, I see. I wanted to make sure you were all right after that last battle. But you're just fine by the look of things.
Yeah, I'm alright. Thanks for checking. How about you, Lucina? You alright?
I'm fine. Fighting battles back-to-back is common where I come from.
Your world must be facing some pretty tough times for that to be common.
I don't think words could do it justice, honestly.
So I guess we better sort this world out soon so you can get back and help.
That's my hope.
Traveling back in time must be such a strange feeling. Isn't it weird seeing your father as his younger self?
Well, I guess it is a little weird, now that you mention it. But more than anything, I'm just glad he's alive. Nothing else matters. Sorry, I should explain. In my world, my father was killed in battle.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't mean to bug you with all these questions.
It's okay. I came here to help him avoid that fate, so talking about it is good.
If you do manage to change the past and save him, what happens to future Lucina?
I think about that often. Should I go back to my own time, or just continue living in the past? Either way, there's no guarantee that the future will change based on the past.
But that means all your fighting could be for nothing.
That could be the case. When I left, my world was just a burned-out husk. It pains me to think of my world in such a decrepit state.
Well, that settles it. We're going.
What? Going where?
After we bring peace to this land, we'll go to yours and settle things there. We can't just leave it as some ghost town. We'll all work together to revive it.
My world has fallen to destruction and chaos. There's little left worth saving.
But you and the others are helping us in this world. We've got to repay you. It's only right, don't you think? That's what friends do for each other.
You're kind for offering, Rowan. And the way you say it, something tells me you could actually do it.
You got that right.
But you're needed here. You're supposed to lead this kingdom. It makes me glad to hear you want to help. But you can't deny your own duty.
But, Lucina,
Your obligations are to this world. My obligations are to my own.
In that case, promise to make it home in one piece so you can keep fighting.
I promise, Rowan. And I expect the same of you.
A gleamstone hidden within me. I still can't quite believe it.
I'd have trouble believing it myself if I hadn't been there.
Do you remember what the Temple Sage told us about the legend of this land?
That power resides in the gleamstones carried by heroes from other worlds.
Exactly. He mentioned heroes. And I'm no hero.
You really believe that? I thought you were a hero long before coming here.
You remember what happened back in Elise, right? If I was a true hero, there wouldn't be so much suffering in my own home. If only I could get stronger.
Regardless of what happened in the past, you've never been one to just sit back. You fight with all your strength for the protection of everyone, don't you? That's the Crom that the people, as well as the shepherds, rely upon.
And yet, Elise's problems remain. The people have been suffering since the last war, and I can't do a thing about it, except for worry and be a burden. It's so pathetic.
A burden? Pathetic? You're the only one who thinks that, Crom. If you see someone in need, you help them. Isn't that just your way? Just like when you found me. You had no reason to help me, and yet you did.
That is the only way I know how to live my life.
It's those unwavering ideals that motivate so many people to fight by your side. This is just my opinion, but being a hero doesn't mean you have to be perfect. A hero is someone who cares for the people around him, and who guides them.
So by that logic, without anyone around, a hero is just a normal person?
That's one interpretation, but still, you're always surrounded by friends.
Yeah, you're right. Because I can't do anything by myself.
That's what you're taking away from all this?
Just look at how much I rely on you. Without your aid, who knows where I'd be?
Oh, come on. You're starting to embarrass me. It's the way that you believe in your friends like this that makes you a hero to me. That's why I'm proud that you were chosen as a hero in this world.
Well, if that's the case, I'll just have to become worthy of the title of hero. And our first step is saving this land. You're coming with me, right, Robin?
Of course. The future you aim for will be the path I walk.
Nothing can stand in our way. Let's go!
We're in this together.
Lynn, Is it true that you came to this world all by yourself? You must have been very lonely before you met up with us.
Oh, you don't have to worry about me. I'm used to being alone. That's how I lived back on the plains.
Back on the plains? But I thought you were from a noble family.
Only technically. My mother was from a noble family, but not my father. He was the son of a Lorca chieftain, a nomad. My parents eloped in secret, and I was raised as a simple plains dweller.
Did you have any idea who you were? Or who your mother was?
No, my parents were killed by a group of bandits before they could tell me. After that, the Lorca scattered. And I just lived on my own.
How terrible. I'm sorry for bringing all this up.
It's okay. It happened a long time ago.
But I think it explains a lot.
You mean why I don't act like an average member of the noble class?
Oh no, that's not what I meant at all. It explains your strength, your compassion. You're so, I don't know, true to yourself. Me? I'm always worried about acting like a proper princess or big sister. So I'm constantly second-guessing myself and making mistakes.
I understand. I was a bit bewildered to learn about my family's history. Suddenly, I was part of the nobility. It made me question everything.
You were worried about the same things as me?
I was, at first. Then, on my travels, I met some very dear friends. A reliable tactician, an interesting pair of knights, and a Pegasus knight as well. They called themselves Lintus's Legion. I realized that those friendships define me more than any noble bloodline.
Interesting. It's funny. Just like you have your friends from the Legion, I have all of you. So maybe I should worry less about being a princess and more about being a friend.
Agreed. Things like social status shouldn't matter when among friends. We risk our lives for each other, after all.
That's true. I guess I've been pretty foolish all this time.
Not at all. In fact, you're one of the most genuine people I know. You're also one of the biggest worriers I know. And I love you for that.
Thank you, Lynn. Well, I'll try not to worry quite so much about all this.
Good. You shouldn't. But if you do, you'll still have my friendship.
Oh! Celica! Oh, you scared me.
Sorry. I didn't mean to. You were so focused I didn't want to interrupt.
Sneaking up on people while they're training is dangerous.
You didn't hurt yourself, did you?
No, I'm fine. Is there something you want to ask me?
I was just wondering, how come you're always training so hard?
I'm gonna be a knight, and a knight's gotta be strong, right?
But that means you'll have no choice except to march into battle.
So, that's kind of the point. It's our duty to fight.
So, the more battles you win, the more dangerous they'll become.
I'm not afraid, Celica. I can't protect anyone if I don't fight. Besides, I'm strong in body and mind. I can stand up to any foe.
I guess you're right. I'm sorry, I'm just worried about you.
Why is that?
You remind me of a childhood friend. His name is Alm. He was always very brave, even when we were children. But once he became strong enough, he cast himself into war. Our opposing views led to an argument, and I said something terrible to him. I couldn't stop him from fighting, so I lost him as a friend. That can't happen to you.
You're worried I'll push the people close to me away? I won't let that happen.
How can you be so sure?
Because of my sister. She can be kind of bossy, but she's cautious. She's always complaining to me about, well, me, but I know she'll stop me if I try to do something reckless. It's in those moments I realize that she complains because she cares.
You trust your sister to look out for you, but what about when she's not around?
That's when my friends are there for me. They're sure to set me straight. For example, I know I can count on you.
How do you know that?
You came to talk to me because you're worried. It shows you care. So I'll be fine no matter where I am or who I'm with, especially if it's you.
Okay, if I'm by your side, promise me something. If I warn you you're being reckless, you'll stop and think it through. I don't want war to get in the way of our friendship like it did with Alm.
You got it, Celica. It's a promise. If I'm ever about to do something stupid, just let me know. And in return, I'll become strong enough to protect everyone.
Thank you. I'll remember your promise. Cordelia, is something the matter? You're looking at me a little funny.
Oh, I am? Sorry. It's just that your movements are so similar to Crom's. It's kind of mesmerizing.
Really? In what ways are they similar?
Well, for example, you sheathe your swords exactly the same way.
That's quite specific. Is there anything else?
The way you use your finger to turn the pages of a book. And how you both slice meat to such a deliberate thickness. The number of times you blink and... oh, the way your hair twists into cowlicks.
I had no idea you were watching my father or me so closely. I suppose I should be grateful. I never noticed little details like that. So if not for you, all those quirks we have in common would have escaped me.
How funny. Every time I look at you, I can't help but see traces of your father.
Do you think that means one day I could be as amazing as he is?
You're already amazing. Like I said, you two have a lot in common.
I understand that we have a lot of the same habits, but he's a man of character and an amazing swordsman. I'm eons behind him.
You have nothing to worry about, Lucina. Greatness is in your blood.
I don't know. We're technically the same age, and look at him. He's perfect.
Your father's anything but perfect. Even he'd admit that. Besides, you shouldn't obsess over being perfect. I learned that from Crom. Everyone has their shortcomings. That's why we need and must support our allies.
Yes, that makes sense. And it takes some of the pressure off. I do always try my best to be a sufficient and reliable ally.
You are. Our friendship has already been a source of strength for me.
Really? That's so good to hear.
Lucina, you're young, smart, beautiful. Keep working hard and you'll be fine.
Beautiful? That means a lot coming from you. You're the most beautiful woman I know. I'm sure my father feels the same way.
You think so? Not that I care or anything. I guess it's nice to get that confidence boost.
I can't imagine you needing a boost of confidence. But if you ever do, I hope you know I'm always happy to sing your praises.
Thank you, Lucina. I think we both have plenty to be confident about.
You know what? I believe you're right.
Ah, Lucina. I prepared some tea and a little snack for you.
Oh, well, thank you, Frederick.
Additionally, I have repaired the seams in your tent and done some tidying up.
Thank you. But really, that's too much. You shouldn't have.
Nonsense. It is my duty. Incidentally, how long would your ideal scarf be?
Now, this is really too much. Frederick, I can knit my own scarf. Hand that over.
No, that's for Crom.
What? Oh no! It's unraveling!
Do not move. The yarn is tangled, but I believe it can be salvaged.
No! Ugh, there goes the whole ball of yarn. I'm sorry, Frederick. I've messed it all up. This will take forever to untangle.
No, it's my fault. Clearly the knitting wasn't tight enough. But please, leave the untangling to me. You should not be doing menial work. Your time is better spent doing more important things.
Frederick, I appreciate your help, but you can't dote on me like this. There are others who need your aid more than I do.
Well, I would defer to Crom's judgment. Ah, of course. You must be speaking of Crom himself. Is that what you meant?
Yes. Imagine if something happened while you were busy with me. I won't be the straw that breaks the Pegasus's back. Meaning you, obviously.
Yes, I understand this expression. But you must know that protecting you is as important as protecting Crom. That doesn't mean I will neglect my duties to Crom, though. Not ever.
I'm so glad to hear you say that. I've been feeling so guilty.
Do you find it hard, depending on others?
Well, yes. I suppose I share my father's responsibility to defend our people. I feel I should not rely on anyone else. And I guess I can be a bit stubborn.
Surely I have demonstrated that you can rely on me, Lucina. And moreover, I'm not the only one who can help. So please, allow all of us to serve you and do not feel guilty for accepting it.
Yes. Thank you again, Frederick. I will do my best. That said, you must not worry yourself with such trivial things, like knitting.
But I enjoy knitting.
Well, that makes two of us.
I suppose, if you insist.
We can finish knitting this scarf together.
Very well. Now, let me show you a little secret called Knit 1, Purl 2.
Hey, Salika. I notice you still seem a little shy around me. Why is that?
I do? Oh, pardon me then. I don't mean to come across that way.
I saw you were bored, but you didn't call me over. I wanted to say I wouldn't mind.
That's kind of you, but I wouldn't want to be a bother.
Isn't that what friends are for? Though maybe a princess isn't used to that.
Oh no, I had many friends in my village and at the priory. Besides, a princess I may be, but you are nobility yourself, aren't you, Lindis?
By blood, maybe. But I grew up on the plains. Lady never sat right with me.
I too spent most of my life outside of a castle. The priory was my home.
Huh, I didn't know that. I guess we're not so different then.
But you were raised not knowing that you were of noble blood, right? Whereas I knew from the start.
And you still didn't go back home?
It would have meant my life. I only left the castle with another's aid. Afterward, there was a coup. All royals besides me were put to death. That's what being royalty has meant for me. A princess's reward for surviving an assassination is nothing but open war.
I can sympathize, believe it or not. My family were also slaughtered. But once I found out about my heritage, things improved. I met my grandfather, and I made a lot of friends. All in all, my life hasn't been so bad. Surely you have someone to live for, too.
Yes. Yes, I suppose I do.
Just think, if you hadn't been born a princess, you might never have met them. So don't be too quick to diminish your bloodline.
You're right.
Whether I'm a noble or just plainsfolk, family is family. The important thing is what you can do for the people who matter.
Thank you, Lindis. I see now that I was being a tad selfish, and that self-pity may have brought grief to those important to me. I should have seen the proper behavior from the start. I vow to accept what I am, and to consider what I can do for those I love. I would include you among them, Lindis.
Hey, the feeling's mutual. I already feel like we're fast friends. And friends don't worry about bothering each other when they're bored.
Point taken. Thank you, Lindis.
Robin, are you okay after that fight? Let me take a look.
I'm fine, thanks to you. You don't need to worry about me so much. Not all tacticians are helpless in battle. I've been in plenty of fights. I can take care of myself out there.
I'm sorry, you're right. Force of habit, I guess.
That's a pretty intense habit. You watched me like a hawk. Not a single enemy got anywhere near me. What makes you so intent on protecting me?
I'm just used to fighting that way. In my homeworld, I always kept the tactician close and safe. You triggered my natural instinct.
So you travel with a tactician in your homeworld too?
I do, and they're every bit as brilliant as you. Actually, you have a lot in common.
I'd like to meet this tactician someday if I can. I'd love to compare theories on war and tactics and devise new strategies.
I'd be glad to introduce you, but I must warn you, they can be a bit aloof. I'm not even sure they would carry on a conversation with you.
Ah, the strong but silent type. But you're on good terms, right?
Well, sort of. They're always very quiet, even on the battlefield. Not everyone needs to talk to issue orders.
I'm sorry, what? How does one order the troops without words?
Good question. I can somehow always tell. It's like there's an invisible arrow.
Are we talking about telepathy? This sounds like a very advanced tactician.
I couldn't tell you. What I do know is that they're still in training.
How strange. Though they do sound very important to you.
So you understand why I get this sudden urge to protect you. You may not like it, but protecting you will make me feel better.
Something tells me you won't take no for an answer. But I can't just stand around and let others fight for me. I want to be just as good as your telepathic tactician.
I'm sure you can get there. But no matter how good you get, you'll still let me protect you, right?
Of course, Lynn. If it'll make you feel better, I'll rely on you from now on.
Just leave it to me, Robin.
Phew, we won. Thank goodness my strategy played out how I hoped.
Your strategy? You mean my skills? Did you see how many enemies I cut down?
You still don't trust my tactical sense? I thought I had earned your approval.
Pull your weight in a fight, and you'll always have my approval. But you gotta admit, knights are far more important than tacticians.
You still don't understand that there's more to war than just swordsmanship. Let's hold a short symposium on the art of battle. You may learn something.
Art? Knights don't need art. They just need to train and become strong.
It's a pity you feel that way. To think you'd be a splendid knight otherwise. You may not need tactics to charge in head first, but there are other ways. Let's say, for example, the enemy has 10 times your forces, even with strong knights. Could you win?
Well, victory in that case would be difficult.
But with a keen strategy, sneak attacks, pincers, diversions, you see what I mean? You have to admit, strategy and tactics are just as important as any weapon.
Even so, coming up with strategy is a tactician's job, not a knight's.
Not true. A tactician can only plan for the future, not foresee it perfectly. The tide of battle shifts constantly. The front line must know how to adapt. Knights must have good judgment and adapt on the fly. Otherwise, the plan fails.
In other words, knights can't always just do what the tacticians say?
Precisely. Tacticians paint the broad strokes, knights fill in the details. So, if a knight is strong enough to fight and smart enough to employ strategy,
I know where you're going with this.
if you can protect your friends with your brains as well as your brawn, your skill as a knight will be peerless.
I like the sound of that. That's what I'll become.
That's the spirit. I'm sure you can do it.
In that case, would you mind teaching me strategy?
I wouldn't mind at all. I'll teach you everything I know. Let's start with what informs strategy. I have a list right here.
That is a really long list.
Somewhere out there, an enemy knight is actually putting in the time to study.
I can't let some enemy outclass me. All right, I'll do it. You must be a master tactician, huh? Do you know everything about strategy?
Hardly. Strategy is always changing, so I'm always studying.
Then let's study together. We'll each grow in our fields.
I'm sure you'll one day not only become a fine knight, but a fine king as well.
Huh? Become a fine what? And a what win?
You'll be great, Roman. Now let's get started.